Hi, my name is Isaiah Bojan. I'm a college student athlete with international experience. I've been playing college soccer for a while now, and basically these videos are to help give tips and tricks for players going into the college system, what to look out for, and how to go to the next level from college to professional. Now you're probably watching this wondering, why in the world should I listen to this dude? He's just probably another soccer player explaining or yapping his life away.
No.
The difference between me and them is I've been through the trenches. I've been at the highs and lows of soccer, and I know what to look for and what to be cautious of when you get involved in the college soccer system, and also what can be improved. The videos I'm going to be posting on my YouTube channel are going to dive heavily into my experience. But before we get into all of that, I really want to explain more about myself. I grew up in Visalia, California. Now, if you don't know anything about California, the Central Valley is basically the armpit of the whole entire state. But honestly, in my opinion, it's the best part of the state. I grew up playing soccer in a small church-like team, basically like an indoor team, which was really fun with a whole bunch of other kids. A memorable moment of all that was one time my dad was the coach, and one of our first games that we're all playing well, one of the players passed out. The first time my dad ever coached the team. So right off then, I knew I was born to be a star. I eventually made the transition to AYSO soccer, which was really fun. It was more like a pickup than it really was more competitive. But that's really where I kind of honed in and really found my love and passion for soccer. We were on a team called the Blue Bullets. I don't think we really won anything. We were just there to kick the ball around and have some fun. I eventually kind of got scouted by our local club team here in Visalia to a team, I think that the name is now South Valley United. At the time, it was called Odyssey South. It was the first actual club team I've ever been on. This happened around when I was in 4th grade. And the difference between AYSO and club was high. It was basically a huge shock for me of how fast the players were playing in club to how fast the tempo and the speed was at AYSO. Now, I was on that team from 4th grade all the way to high school. I had a lot of great memories. Basically, the players that I were playing with were eventually like a part of my family. But the thing about club soccer here in the Central Valley is that you really have to travel outside of the Central Valley to get really any type of competition. So we were traveling a lot. We were a traveling team. Growing up, I really didn't think soccer could take me that far. I just genuinely saw it as a time to stay active, to stay healthy, to run around, to blow off some steam. It was probably around 7th grade when I started to take it actually serious. I remember I'd wake up in the morning, want to train, want to get better on my touch, want to get better on how I passed. And I was really preparing for the next stage of my life, which was high school soccer. Going to high school soccer, playing from club, it really helped out a lot. Playing club, I was able to be comfortable with the ball, so once I transitioned to high school, it was basically playing against chumps. In high school, I did really well. I was captain for our freshman team, and I got a lot of playing time. It was really fun. Now, everything changed my sophomore year of high school when I got a letter from an academy asking if I would be interested in joining a team located in Spain. The team that I would be traveling to is in Sant Cugat, which is near Barcelona. It was a small academy, only been open around for a year or two, and had a lot of players, and it looked promising. I was naive. I didn't know anything about soccer other than the Central Valley. So when I went and traveled to Spain, it was a huge culture shock. Is that if someone took their hand and just smacked me in front of my face of how much better soccer is in Europe. Now that experience had some highs and lows, but the end I could take away that it changed my life forever. Being able to see how European soccer and style of football was so much different than how they played in the States and how they played in my high school. So I was there for about a year. I didn't really like it. I mean, it was good. It just didn't work out for me. I ended up going back to high school my junior year. Coming back from living in Spain to Central Valley was also in its way a huge culture shock. Because seeing how I lived for the past year was 100% different than how these other kids were living here in the Central Valley. The mentality for soccer, the mentality to want to do more. You didn't really find that here in the Central Valley. So when I came back, a lot of players didn't really like me because they thought I was acting a little too rash, but I was so passionate to go to the next level of soccer because I've seen the other side. So coming back home was really kind of a hard adjustment for me. I ended up staying my junior and senior year in high school soccer until I transitioned and got scouted for my first ever college soccer team. That was a Division I team in North Carolina called Gardner-Webb University. I played there for about a year, but due to COVID, I decided to come back home and try to start and go to another college soccer team. Now, there's a lot I'm not saying, but I'm going to unpack that all in these other videos that I'm going to post. Now, I went from playing Division I soccer in a whole other state to coming back home to California to play at our community college, COS. Now, that was a huge adjustment going from playing Division I to then junior college. Now, I wish I handled the situation better. There were some things that I liked and there were some things that I didn't like about junior college. But at the end of the day, if I took a step back, I would have been able to notice that I can use this to my advantage playing in junior college. Because I was so unhappy with my junior college experience, I decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Spain again, and this time I'm gonna do it right. So I ended up going back to Spain. Now, I can make a 7-hour video about my experience when I traveled back to Spain, but I'm just gonna give you kind of the quick footnotes of what happened. I ended up going to 3 different academies. 2 of them were scams, 1 of them was really good with a really good coach, but it was underdeveloped and they wanted a lot of money for me to stay there. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna set my eyes back to college soccer. So I ended up texting one of our local coaches here in Fresno, and I said, hey, I'm coming back from playing in Spain. I played at all these academies. Do you guys have a spot for me? Now, when he texted me, he said, hey, originally we wouldn't have a spot for you, but since you're from the Central Valley, we're gonna make some room for you. And that was Fresno Pacific NCAA Division II. Now, I have so much to say about my experience there, but I'm gonna leave it for another video. For now, we're gonna focus on what happened after that. Now, I had fun in Fresno, as much as one can have in Fresno, but at the end, I decided, hey, I don't think this is gonna work out for me. So, the same year that I went there, the same year that I transferred, I stayed there for a spring semester and a fall semester. The next semester, I decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna trust in God. I'm gonna actually pray and say, hey, God, where do you need me? And that's when I transferred NAIA, Texas, Waxahachie, Nelson University. And I've been there ever since. And can I say, since I've made that prayer, God has exponentially blessed my stay at Nelson University. Although I gave a very fast and not a fully detailed list of my experience, I want you guys to know that I have a very deep understanding of college soccer and that I also want to help people who feel like they're lost. And I also want to tell you about my faith, how God is taking me from very low to very high, how from being super depressed, God has made that and molded that into something that I can use to help others. I'm going to be honest, playing college soccer in the States and trying to go to the next level is very hard. So these next videos I'm going to make are going to be giving tips of what I wish I did, what I wish someone would have told me, and what I know now. You might want to give up. You might be like, I am so done with college soccer, I'm just going to stop playing soccer forever. Wait, listen to what I have to say, because there may be an alternative route than what all these other people are trying to teach you. I still have very high expectations to go to the next level. And through these YouTube videos, I'm going to be able to explain and document my steps and my process of how I'm going to make it to the next level. What are you doing, man? I think he's kind of interested too. So if you're feeling like you might be interested or you might learn something from this, I highly encourage you to smash that like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications. For man, this is impossible, but for God, all things are possible. See you in the next video.